think I've had a couple of weird weeks, but it's it's either I fix it now or I don't fix it ever, and well, I'd rather fix it now. Started this book in the what was that? In the realm of the Newcastle research. Slowly getting down there, getting down that big massive mountain, and then after this mountain's done, on my not on my life, but I'm not even promising, but I'm saying, I'm declaring. After all those books are done, the first book I'm going to is East of Eden, without a doubt. Without a doubt, I'm sick of hearing all the jabber jabber. Oh, YouTube short. Here's this book that's like the greatest of all time, a classic. The one Steinbeck novel you haven't fucking read, the one you haven't read. Thank you, YouTube. I don't really think I have anything to say, anything of merit at least. If anything, I do want to repeat whatever that was, the last video. it's it's 8 o'clock. I said I would come home and do a lot of stuff. The day's not planned out how I wanted it to, but it's been good nonetheless. My stomach's full relatively. I eaten a couple hours ago. I could eat. I do need the toilet. Don't know why I'd share that one. But writing wise, I got nothing much to say besides I have to start writing again. I haven't wrote in 2 weeks. Alhamdulillah. I have to start writing again, man. I have to start writing again. If I'm gonna lose my mind. I wrote the romanticy stuff. I could keep writing that because it's just fun, right? It's just fun. I wrote a short story the other day. I'm not doing what I have to do, man. If I don't figure myself out in March, if by the end of March I don't have a solid draft, I've lost my mind. I've lost my mind. I've simply lost my mind. If I get to the end of March and I don't have a third draft of this story, man, I've lost my mind to this, because I've then got a month after that, and I've got a good week holiday in that month. I think that's April. Yeah. So I got 3 weeks, and then in a week. So I got a month after that. I've got 2 months. 2 months to get, I think, about 6,000 words. So it's not a lot, but I want quality words, drafted words, thorough words, words that are powerful, poetic, playful, poignant, powerful. I want good words, and I feel like it's not going to happen. I just dilly-dally all day. So, figured it out. You have to write to write. To write, you must write. That's deep. That is deep. I'd like to write. I'm just lazy and scrutinize myself too much. I got lots of things that I said I would do today. There's no chance I'm doing all of this. Wait. Everyone, hold on. Yep, did that. Didn't do that, but I don't know if I'm too mad about not doing it. Did that. Them two I can do in a space of 10 minutes. That takes 40. That takes I could write. Oh. I'd like tomorrow to be good. I'd like it to kick off a week, kick off a powerful week. One other day apparently, but I'd like to kick off a good week. I think the message of the video is, regardless of your hardships, I find. Oh, I need to do a poem. Regardless of the hardships in life, I think that like I've been seeing a lot of videos recently, and I told to my boy, my boy, following confession, and I was like, what's up, I hate that I have a YouTube channel. I hate that I have a YouTube channel because the envy, or like the not. I felt hatred for this guy who has a YouTube channel. I won't mention what one, but my friend showed us, and he was like, "Look at this guy." And I was like, "What is that bollocks, man? Get that out of my face." And now I'm literally that guy. It goes to show that you just need to shut up and start judging people. But, anyways, what he said was this. I was like, look, I just want to be a writer, you know? And I want to be a father at some point. I'd love to have a wife. I'd love a family, I'd love a family. Like, that would just be so crazy to me. Like, unbelievable. Because I'd be in a position in life where somebody would deem it not only possible, but, like, good that it would happen. And I'd like to be a decent person. I'd like not to be a cunt. That would be a good life, Because I am. Let's be real. I'd like to not be. I'd like to be good. And I said, I was like, well, I said, is this fine? He's like, what are you doing? Obviously it's fine. Obviously it's fine. And the reason why I mention that is because when I'm overthinking, and like one day I'm sitting down and I'm like, oh, it doesn't even matter what the weather is. It doesn't even matter what day it is. It doesn't even matter where we are geographically or whatever. Like, it doesn't even matter. Nothing matters. Get up and let's have a beautiful day. And then some other days I wake up and all of a sudden, like, doesn't even matter if it's sunny outside. Doesn't matter where I am. Doesn't matter who I am or what we're doing today. We're doing nothing. And we're bedrotten and we're convincing ourselves that I am the worst human to ever exist and the only thing that's right for me is death and pain. And I'm like, okay. Alright. We're dealing with that one today. Grand, Definitely woke up to some good news on the right side of the bed. Got this charger in, one second. And in inside of that, it's like, okay, well, what about the saxophone, Corey? What about that saxophone you said you would try to practice? Like, can't you just do that today? It's like, nah. What about the writing? What about reading that book? Oh no. Okay. And it just piles up to like absolutely nothing. So just it's like how much darkness do you let into your light, and all of a sudden, you start dimming that light, and then it actually gets dark outside, and you're like, oh, and that's it. The rest of the day is gone. I think no matter the hardships, right? Most of the pain's gonna come from inside their head, and I mean to say this in the nicest way possible. I think my dad died when I was 3, and like there are days where I could wake up and dwell on that all day. Or there are days where I could wake up, think about that, and just say like, well, yeah, but I mean, come on, live your life. That's how you bring respect to that. It's how you bring beauty to that. Kind of complicated what I'm trying to. I'm not saying the words right, but I think what I'm saying is, even if you have to put your dog down, you know, not that like you crying over your dog's a bad thing, but the pain that's in your head, it is the pain in your head. The rest of the world goes on as it's effervescent, whatever that word is. I'm trying to make a beautiful point here. Like the rest of the world goes on, right? The trees continue to grow and the leaves continue to shed and all those sort of things. Like the world is just always gorgeous. It's just that in your head, bad shit happens and you can convince yourself that you are bad, that bad things happen and bad things always will happen and never end, and they are the almighty essentially, you know. But the world does continue, and it does continue in its own unique, beautiful way, and I think you can choose to try to be an outcast of that, which I don't know what that looks like. To me, it looks like bed rotten and YouTube all day. Or you could actually not do that, you know, under hardships and personal circumstances. You could acknowledge it, and you can feel it. But ultimately, I think it's far better to do shit work than no work at all. And what I've been going through recently is pretty much the aforementioned. And I think that this to me is the thing in life that I've recognized, that like you will encounter, if speaking for myself, you will encounter the exact opposite of the thing you want to do in your day in that day to stop you. It'll prevent you. I'll want to be a writer, and all of a sudden I have no claim to be an artist. I want to be a good man, and all of a sudden I'm thinking thoughts that no man should think. You know, I want to be a good son, and all of a sudden, what am I doing? I want to be a good brother, and all of a sudden, like, I wake up and my brother comes to my room, and it's vindictive thoughts immediately, other than just waking up and just life in it, you know? Like, things can just, the opposite, but the dread opposite, the harmful opposite. That's what seems to come in and try to break it apart. You know, like, I think life will, whatever, I say life, but things of processes of life, mechanics of things that do happen in different issues and realms and so on, they happen, and I think they'll often come in and the challenge in that, the purpose of that is to take everything you hold dear and to break it apart, you know? There's nothing wrong with what you want to do in life. If you want to be an engineer, if you want to be an astronaut, well, there's something wrong with being an engineer. If you want to be an astronaut, if you want to be a painter, if you want to be a carpenter, if you want to be a plumber, if you want to work in Mackey's, don't work in Mackey's. If you want to be a kitchen porter, real ones know. If you want to be a KP, there's not wrong with it. If you've got your thing in life, there's not wrong with it. You should just do that in life. Find that thing you love and do it. But life will go through life will go through every single tool in its belt to make sure that you have the hardest time possible in doing that. I'm convinced life also has other metrics which help you and bring you back and make you better and test your growth through that and help you grow through that, because you're not going to live life well without any hardships. You're just like, come on, be realistic. I mean, hardships is like the pain of practice. That's a bare minimum. But you're going to have to go through that to get better at it, right? To realise that sentence doesn't work, or that paragraph doesn't fit, or that chapter shouldn't be there, or this character wouldn't do this, or, when I'm playing the saxophone and my back hurts and I want to slouch, but I'm like, well, you need your good posture to blow, right? Because if you don't do that, your arm's just going to get fucked up, and then you're just going to start, like, that's pain, but very small, but, you can only grow through that. I mean, maybe you're Lionel Messi, and your leg gets chopped off, right? Maybe there's, like, the massive crux of it. But you might be. I mean, you might be a painter, and you might break your hand, who knows? Life will chuck a whole bunch of things in there to test your resolve and to test if you want to do something. Luckily, it's not got that bad for me, and I think inside of that, there's the understanding that it probably hasn't got that bad for you either, right? Your hands work. What are they talking about? Not a clue. Your hands work, Your heart beats, your eyes work, your ears work. How much money do you have in the bank? I don't know. But you got a little bit of money in the bank. Maybe you got family. Like you're in a first world country. For me, I'm an idiot if I want to complain, because everything that I need to succeed, I have. I have. Maybe I have like an overarching evil of Jeffrey Epstein pedophile, Baal worshippers that run my country. Maybe. And that's like the worst I got it. That I was vaccinated as a kid and my arm's gonna blow up in 5 years when they press a button, and I think Bill Gates wanted to poison cows or something, so it became a little like the tick thing, and maybe that's the worst I've got it. But as it stands, like outside of any Lovecraftian horror, still have my hands working, still have my arms working, still got my legs, my nose, my mouth, all my organs are intact. I got a good family, I got good finances, I got a good opportunity in the Masters. I got so much going for us. The only thing that I have to complain about really is myself. You know? I don't do this enough. I don't do that enough. I overthink too much. I am my own worst enemy, you know? And I think I say that because the life can just chuck things at you, right? And it can be something bad. Like all of a sudden you can be walking and a bus can just clobber you. And I mean, I don't really mean run you over, but you can be walking, all of a sudden a bus just like, you put your foot out and the bus just clips it, and maybe it like fractures your little bone, and you're having a hard time to walk for a bit. One time, I was literally sitting here right now. I dropped a pen and I went to go down to grab it, and its splinter went like, I don't even remember what thumb it was. This one, I went down like that, and the splinter just went like deep in the thumb to the point where like, I was trying to, it wouldn't come out, and I had a trip in a week to go to Europe because I was trying to bike through Europe, and I'm like, clearly a sign. I started overthinking it, started killing myself over the thought, and then I get it sorted out, and the guy's like, "No, you'll be good. Like, it's not that bad, really. It'll heal up in a week, and then life in it. It's not bad." And then the couple of nights before I'm about to leave, I go to my nan's. I start running up the stairs, happy as hell. Where is it? Not a clue. And I run up, happy as Larry. Falls out of my pocket. Cracked. Just like a nuclear explosion of shard. And I'm like, and I'm thinking to myself, yep, this is it. I'm never allowed to do anything I ever want in my life because everything always just happens. And then I'm like, what if I got the phone fixed though? And I got it fixed the next day. And then I went off to Europe, and I was in Belgique. I was in Belgium, and I put my bike. These fucking trains are like double deckers, and I had to lift this with a pannier rack. I had to lift this up, and I've got it in like the looser pocket, and it falls out again, and it cracks. I'm like, oh my days, I can never have anything nice, and I realized like, well, I mean, only really cracked there, didn't it? I started to develop this, well, it's kind of worse in my head. Does the phone work? Yeah. Can I get it fixed anywhere? Yeah. Am I alive? Yeah. You know, inside the head, everything is just so much bigger. If your dad dies, mourn the guy, please. I'm not saying anything like that. If your dog dies, mourn your dog. Whatever I said earlier was waffle. But if that happens, right, mourn them. But you know what I mean. Like these are the natural processes of life which require pain and mourning and grief, which are like, in a way, the good pain, the beautiful pain, the pain of loss of the things you once had, right? But these other things come out of like anger, aggression, envy, jealousy, poison. It's like, whoa, 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 whoa. Why are you deep in the phone? You know? all of a sudden I wake up and I think I'm the worst human to ever exist. Like, whoa, 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 whoa. Now, come on. You're not the best human to ever exist. Not by far. Not by a long shot. But you're not Jeffrey Epstein. Maybe there. Maybe in that. This sounds like a parody video. Maybe inside that, you can get out of bed and realize, I still need to do my work today. It won't do itself. You know? I'm not saying, don't be like, well, Jeffrey Epstein also worked. You know, like, I can make billions too. No. You're not getting inside trading from Netanyahu because you helped Netanyahu torture a child. What is the world we live in? Anyways, you know, under best circumstances, live the life you want to live and be happy and be grateful and laugh and be at peace and be a child, you know. And in your worst circumstances, I don't know why we can't just do the same. I don't know why we can't just do the same. My gender has been bombed, nor have I ever been kidnapped. And I think inside those circumstances, probably don't laugh. You know, don't laugh because, well, you might die. You know? But, you know, say you missed the bus. Okay. Get next one. So you wake up and all of a sudden you woke up half an hour later. What was my mum talking about? Like, okay, how's my eyes? You know, oh, your hair's in your eye. Get annoyed about it? No. Take it out your eye. You know? Okay. There's just so many things in life, I think, that to where, you know, you look at a text, or you make a plan for a day and you wake up a little bit late and all of a sudden that's it, the day is over, you know? And what are you talking about? You even went to bed last night saying, even if I get up half an hour late, I'll still do it. You wake up half an hour late. Or for example, I said, okay, tomorrow I'll go to the library, I'll do all these things I need to do. If I wake up tomorrow with like the most crippling depression, like I have to say that there's no like shame in that. There's no like confrontation in that. I'm not trying to come after being depressed, but I think there's something that and okay, maybe I should just use the right language now and end the video. But there's something so hurtful and painful and attacking inside of that. Something so crucially negative, an antithesis of the life that we choose to live. You know, something that begs to pull down the very core of the reason why we want to wake up in the morning. Corey wants to be a writer. Let's do everything in our power we can to make him feel like he's not a writer. You know? Or let's do everything we can to make him feel like he's a terrible person. Let's do everything we can to make him feel like he doesn't have the ability to even be better at anything. You know? There's an attack on self, which is an attack on American liberty. You know, it's an attack on your freedom. It's an attack on your free will. It's an attack on you. You know? We go through things that really want us to die. You know, that really want us to fail. You know, whether that be our own thoughts, whether that be Cthulhu, whether that be, demons, right? Whether that be people who don't believe in you, whether that be your enemies. I mean, what enemies do you have? Not a clue. My sword? Don't need it. You know, whatever it is. There's always natural forces in the world that's going to want to stop you, I think. And however you want to interpret that, really. Interpret it. I call it demons. I'll call it my own thoughts, you know. I think these are two things that I'll grapple with. Mainly the thoughts. I don't want to give the demons too much credit, because, I mean, do they really deserve the credit when it really is just me in my head? You know, it's always the overthink, which the point of the video was the overthinking, right? Like, you will go through so many enemies, and you will go through so many different things that will throw you off. But ultimately, the thing that will throw you off is the fact that you've sat there, you've looked at a text, and you've read that as, it's like, no thank you, I'll see you tomorrow, love, whoever. And you'll read that as, there's not a chance in this world I would ever be 10 meters next to you because you're the most filthy, vile human person to ever step on them. You know, I never want to see you again. Kill yourself. Name. You know, it's like, well, okay. You know, you aren't even your protector, your guardian angel. You know? You are your worst enemy. You know, you are the person who's going to sit there and say, why did I even do that brushstroke? I am an idiot. I need to go to a mental hospital, get myself hung, drawn, and quartered because I did a wrong stroke on a paint. Like, relax. Obviously, it's not that deep. I'm really characterizing things here. It's making it hyperbolic, but you get what I mean. You don't even look at your artwork and think, that's good, that's decent. Bloody hell, I did that. You know, it's just, what's up with all that self-hatred? Have a little bit of, like, mysticism. You know, have a little bit of happiness, a little pride and joy in it, a little peace. Don't overthink things so much because, I mean, I can guarantee it now, from my position, whatever's in your head, I think you do good artwork. I think you're a good person. I think that you try to live a good life. I think this and this and this and this. Not to say there's not a chance to grow. Not to say there's not opportunity. Not to say that you not must grow. You must grow. You must be better. But when you overthink now, it's like practically the way you overthink now, especially me, the way I overthink now, all it does is prevent you from trying to live the life you want to live. If that's the case, just stop letting it in. Just stop letting it in so much. You know? Because at the end of the day, I think this world benefits more from all the good art that could possibly be produced from my lips. That sounds so prideful. But what I mean is this. Would the world rather, you know, would I rather live in a world where I write all the novels I've ever wanted to write in my life, or I do all the horrible actions that I've ever thought in my life? I'd rather live in this one. Not to say that this one will give me money, fame, none of that. I don't really want any of that. But would the world itself, would it benefit from this? Yeah. Would the world itself benefit from either you becoming a Jeffrey Epstein? I was going to say like rape or murderers, and I was like, what's the worst paragon of that? Jeffrey Epstein. Would the world benefit from you being Jeffrey Epstein? Or this video's getting taken down. Or would you benefit from just being like a chill guy? You know? You see somebody fall and hit their head. You're that guy who sits with him and calls the ambulance, and as he leaves, you're like, God bless you, bro. I really hope that you stay strong and get the attention you need. You know, or there's a guy on the street who says, could I have a hot beverage, sir? And you're like, no doubt. You know, yeah, what do you want? You're not even going to get him a small. You get him a large. What are you copping out for? It's 30 pence. You know? You're the type of guy to walk along the street and you see somebody struggling. You're like, where are you trying to go? Are you that guy who's on the bus and all of a sudden somebody says something and you're like, I'll talk, I'll have a conversation, why not? Like, what's so weird about human interaction? You know how it is on the bus. You get on the bus and all of a sudden you say one thing, it's like, witch! You know? Just, the world would benefit from you being a good person, and the world would benefit from you doing the things you want to do, being the artist you want to be. And not only that, you would benefit from being a good person. You would benefit from being the artist you want to be. It's a very complex thing. And I don't think pride really gets a say in that. Nor do I think demonic forces get a say in that. Nor do I think overthinking gets a say in that. I think you're a person that can contribute so much to the world. The world is begging for you to contribute to it. You're begging to contribute to yourself. You're alive, therefore you must live. Your life is begging for you to contribute it with... Oh man. Love. This world is begging to be loved. You are begging to be loved. Now, what a way to, like, end the video, you know? Go from Epstein and being government ruled and like, sliding it into love. I've nailed it. I've nailed it. But, no, you get the point. Like, the world and ourselves are begging to be loved. All we want, all we need is love. All we need, you know, love, a bit of painting, even mixed media. Like, I hate mixed media. I despise mixed media. I went to an art gallery not too long ago, and I seen like a multimedia, like a mixed, you know, like a mixed canvas, and I was like, what the fuck is that? And I sat for a moment, and I was like, it's not that bad, is it? It's actually kind of good. I mean, he didn't paint the horse, but he stuck it on a canvas. Like, well, there's a meaning in that. He's trying to say something. I guess the dude had paper and he had a canvas. What do you want to say with that? You know? Why are you hating so hard? You know? I'll stop the video there. The world is begging for love. You're begging for love. I'm begging for love. The world is begging for art and good contribution. For the love of fuck, look at how the government runs the whole world. I got into a train at Durham the day. I got on a train at Durham. I came to Durham and I saw, oh, look at that cathedral. That is mind blown. And then I saw like brick roofs and then glass roofs and metal this, metal. Like the city was mixed media, you know? The city was multi-mixed media. Like, and I was like, oh, what the, you know? The government doesn't even know how to make a nice city anymore. Anymore? Like, simply put, the world is needing in maybe being a little bit reshaped, you know? Formed by a little coup de grace, don't even know what it means. Formed by a little love, you know? Paint a nice landscape and be like, my back garden should look... What are we talking about? What was the point of him being his voice? Look, just like, please do something with your life. I'm begging, man, because I want to live in a world where somebody is doing something with their lives. One sec, I'm gonna blow my nose. And I conclude on this. To that person, from that right group, who asked me if it was possible to actually be a writer. What a profound question, by the way. Like, what a, you know, me, asking me, why me? To that person who asked me, probably because I had the long hair and the beard, but to that person who asked me if I could be a writer, she said, can I be a writer? Man, you already are. Like, what are we talking about? Right, please. I liked what she wrote. It was cool. It was really cool. Could have been better, but it's cool. And, you know, she talked about wanting to grow up and be a lawyer. I got no hate towards being a lawyer. But in this world, it seems like you either have to sacrifice 40-hour shifts at Mackey's or doing the thing you want to do. And can I just say, like, how little Morrison's needs a fucking night shifter? You know, can I just speak on how little Tesco actually needs you to work 10 fucking hours? The shelves won't stack themselves. But you can stack them quick enough, lad. Let the brother read and write and paint and do all sorts. Why are you making him stack shelves for 8 hours? Look, man, the world doesn't revolve around what Tesco does. The world doesn't revolve around Morrison's, or Asda, or Mackey's, or Jeffrey Epstein and all the banking companies. Also, may God bless all the people of Iran. And all the people of Gaza, and all the people of the fucking world. Ukraine, what is going on? I don't know. The world does not need to be the way it is. Can we have some love and joy and art? I'm begging. You know, and that's the thing, right? This is a little cuckoo land I'm in right now. Oh, but Corey, The world can't survive if all we do is paint. But if all we did was paint, there would be no war. Oh man, there was probably a fallacy in there somewhere. But you get my point, you know? If all we did was love, there would be no hate. I don't know why we have to hate. Why do we have to make weapons of mass destruction? That's why I don't care about nuclear bombs. One reason why I don't care about nuclear bombs. That's the title of the video. One reason why I don't care about nuclear bombs. Who gives a fuck? What am I going to do? Punch it away? If somebody decides to push that big red button because of hate and anger and all these boiling things in the world, and all I ever wanted to do in my life was help my fellow man out and be a writer. Oh man, you know, I feel sorry for everybody else getting nuked but me. Like, congratulations, man. You got what you want, you know? Like, it's not that deep. I mean, it is that deep for everyone else, everywhere else, but for me, it's not that deep. I just novels are so cool. You know, novels are so cool. Writing's so cool. Art's so cool. Love is so cool. Being yourself is so cool. Caring for other people is so cool. Yes, the world is complex because you have radical, religious, political, modern warfare, and and you have people who want to be gods. That's a shout out to Kim Jong-un, by the way. And you have the Western world, who all of a sudden thinks it's always right, you know? As a Western man, America always thinks it's right. What are they yapping about? Even them downstairs. Family downstairs. Yapping about now. I'm going to end this video. I'm going to go downstairs. I'm going to say, what's wrong? Why are we all shouting? I'll get a drink when I'm down there. Why not? Say, why are we all shouting? Why are we shouting? You know? Why are we angry? I get it. We're all angry. We're all sad. I get it. But like, being depressed does not give you a reason to press a big red button. And whatever is going on downstairs, whatever the simple anger that my mom was feeling downstairs because of my brother, whatever interaction they're having, is because she maybe got home from work and she's tired and he's been doing something all day and he's a bit tired, and maybe let that tiredness boil over. And the world is not that serious. It is not that deep. Maybe like collecting water and sterilizing it is kind of hard. Maybe mining coal is actually kind of hard. Maybe actually like hoarding cows is hard. Or like whatever the hell you call, you know, rounding cattle up. Maybe, just maybe, fighting wars is hard. But it is not that hard to love. That's what I'm talking about. If you can hear what's happening downstairs right now, it's not that hard to love. You gotta get out your own head, look to everyone else, and just say, Mom, why are you shouting so much? What is wrong? I love you. Why are you so upset? You know? Why are we using this language? Why are we so mad at each other? Why do we want to harm each other? Why do we feel... This is why I don't understand war. I can never understand war. My dad died in war, by the way. It's been like a couple of years now since I've been a pacifist. I throw hands with little bro sometimes. Isaac, you know who you are. But that's pretend. I mean, I mess around with Ben sometimes, but it's been a long while since I've been a pacifist. I don't understand hitting someone. You know, I get angry, obviously. I feel like I want to, but I don't understand. You know, I feel like I could add so many different things, but I feel like it's a bit egregious to say it's scandalous, really, on YouTube. But I don't understand what I mean. What I'm trying to say there is, there's feelings. There's feelings you can act on. There's feelings you should act on, like love for your fellow man and passion and purpose. But why would you ever act? Why should you ever act on violence? Why should you ever act on aggression and anger and hate? And it's complex because a lot of people say love and hate and good and God and all these sorts of things all the time. and they have so many different implications over so many different cultures, in which people start to like hate them words in certain circumstances. You know, if I look in the camera right now and I say Jesus Christ loves you, it's like all of a sudden to some people that's like the craziest thing you ever say. To some people that's like, all right. To some people that's everything. You know, words are complex. Life is complex. Is it that deep? Yeah. Oh wait, hold on. I'm a writer. Like the whole point is to convey how deep it all is. But I digress. I digress. Like the best thing that a singular person can do is like just be nice. You know, just be nice. I am not the general attorney. I am not the Ayatollah. I am not Keir Starmer. But my mom and my brother downstairs, ordinary people, mad at each other. That we need to fix. This we need to fix. This we need to combat. And live good, calm, simple, giving, loving, proactive, intentional lives, you know? I pray nobody ever watches this video. I sound like Shia LaBeouf. I look like Shia LaBeouf. Everyone have a wonderful day, man. And please just like, please have a wonderful day. Please have a good week, man. Please have a good week. I don't want anyone to have a bad week, man. Have a good week. Rest in peace to the Ayatollah, for real. Like, I don't even know that guy. Rest in peace to everyone. I'm so sorry that anyone dies. Have a wonderful week. I'm going to go downstairs and sort the people out and say, why are we all mad? And spread some joy. Spread some love.